Because we all stand together and love one another. Because we all, yes, we stand together and love one another. Can you guys all sing this with me or what? Because we all stand together and love one another.
Yes.
Because we all stand together and love one another.
Yes. Now I want you to turn to your friend right next to you and you sing this to them.
Because we all stand together.
That's right. And love one another. Come on, y'all.
If you're not singing, you're clapping.
Hey, because we all stand together and love one another and another and another and another. Because we all stand together and love one another and another and another. Oh, because we all stand together and love one another and another and another.
Come on, y'all. I want to feel that love. Come on.
Because we all stand together and love one another and another. Because we all, yes, we stand together and love one another.
That's right, y'all. You got to stand together in love. Come on.
Because we all stand together and love one another. Because we all stand together and love one another and another and another and another. Because we all stand together and one another and another and another. Because we all stand together and love one another and the one right next to you.
That's right.
And hey, yes, we all stand together and love one another.
Yes. One more time.
Because we all stand together and love one another.
One more.
I saw an old black cat walk across my path today. I broke a mirror, spilled some salt, but I bought a lotto ticket anyway. Well, it's no surprise I didn't win. In fact, I lost my job again, and that's life. So they say. I stepped on a few cracks, walking back from the old soup kitchen down on Main. Figured what harm could it do? My mama's back was broke already anyway. Well, this may come as no surprise. The next day my mama died, and that's life. So blue I say, oh, high times been with me a lifetime. If it weren't for high times, I'd have no time at all. Oh, and I don't mind being born under a bad sign. Oh, all these high times keep me moving along. Okay. I picked a 4-leaf clover, I rubbed a rabbit's foot, I threw a penny in a well. Monday morning I went to church, figured out what the hell. Well, it's no surprise, the church was closed. Preacher said, son, you better get on home, and that's life. So it goes. Hey. Oh, high times been with me a lifetime. If it weren't for high times, I'd have no time at all. Oh, and I don't mind being born under a bad sign. Oh, all these high times keep me moving along. Come on now, hold up. Oh, high times been with me a lifetime. If it weren't for high times, I'd have no time at all. Oh, and I don't mind being born under a bad sign. Oh, all these high times keep me moving along. Oh, all these high times keep me moving along. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A whole lost in the shadow of darkness, I hope we'll see through the madness and find a way out of this hole. Oh, digging deeper and deeper with mindless believers and how do we ever find out if it's all that we're fighting about? Just believing the lies we've been told, being good soldiers of war, fighting the fight we're for, God only knows. Yeah, we're believing the lies we've been told, there ain't no truth anymore. And if we wanna get out, just let go, we gotta let go. Our whole stuff is pointless, so running our feet. We won't come to our senses, we won't make amends, and our hope disappears. Digging deeper and deeper, and down with the devil we go. Getting further and further from what we're all claiming to be. Fighting for, we're just believing the lies we're told, being the soldiers of war, fighting the fight and we're for, God only knows. We're believing the lies we've been told. There ain't no truth anymore. And if we wanna get out, just let go. We gotta let go. Don't we got something better to do? Don't we got somewhere else to be? I really like to see this through, and I sure hope we do. Oh yes, I do. Yeah. Being the soldiers of war, fighting the fight and we're for, God only knows. Yeah, we believe in the lies we've been told. There ain't no truth anymore. And if we wanna get out, just let go. We gotta let go. Yeah, we believe in the lies we've been told. Being the soldiers of war, fighting the fight and we're for, God only knows. Yeah, we believe in the lies we've been told. There ain't no truth anymore. And if we wanna get out, just let go. We gotta let go. Oh! Yeah! That was pretty self-explanatory. It was a cool December morning. Smugglers were flying over Georgia. When that plane went down, that pure white powder started falling. When along came a bear named Pablo. Hung through the woods like normal. He was hungry and he was tired, and that pure white powder started calling. Cocaine bear, what you got there? Oh, just 88 pounds, the purest blow we'll ever know, and he ain't even gonna share. Well, cocaine bear, he won't make it out alive, but his legend lives on forever. Oh, that bear started eating, and his buzz started buzzing. And when that first pound went down, old Pablo couldn't stop indulging. Oh no, Pablo, he wouldn't go. Till he finished each and every last line of that blow. Now he's dead and now he's gone. legend lives on and on and on and on and on and on. Well, cocaine, baby, what you got there? Or just 88 pounds, the purest blow we'll ever know. And he ain't even gonna share. Well, cocaine, baby, he won't make it out alive, but his legend lives on forever. Hey! There, but just 88 pounds, the purest flow we'll ever know, and he ain't even gonna share. Well, cocaine, baby, he won't make it out alive, but his legend lives on forever. All right, let's do it one more time. You got there, or just 88 pounds, the purest flow we'll ever know, and he ain't even gonna share. Well, cocaine, baby, he won't make it out alive, but his legend lives on forever. No, he won't make it out alive, but his legend lives on forever. There you go. Guide me through dark. I need a new love in my bed. She's bleeding me to death. I need a new place to call home, 'cause I ain't welcome where I'm from. I need a new love in my life. She's cutting me like a knife. Oh, Carolina, won't you rescue my heart? It's better beat it. I'm begging for a new start. I'm crying, I hope it's not too far to my Carolina heart, to my Carolina heart. I need a new path to walk along, one that won't leave me lost. I need a new flat to rest my head before I wind up dead. I need some new blood in my veins to guide me through the pain. I need a new love to call my own, somewhere that feels like home. Said, oh, Carolina, won't you rescue my heart? It's better beating, I'm begging for I'm crying, I hope it's not too far to my Carolina heart, to my Carolina heart. Oh, Carolina, won't you rescue my heart? Spare a beating, I'm begging for a new start. I'm crying, I hope it's not too far to my Carolina heart, to my Carolina heart, to my Carolina heart, to my Carolina heart. Texas town, the bears your name, but out on these streets, oh, Texas is so far away. You're walking like, you're talking like an angel without the most blessed life. Won't pull you out, lift you up, to take a bite, just like a dream. At least for me, Emily. I heard you lost your crown long, long time ago, and now you're on these streets looking for somewhere to go. Well, you just can't sing, well, you just can't sing. An angel without the best of company won't pull you out, lift you up, but you take a bow, just like a dream, at least for me, Abilene, Abilene, oh Abilene, Abilene. been high and your heart's been strained. But Abilene, I know you're more than just a name. Or we just might sing, or we just might find you're the angel I've been holding in my dream. I wanna pull you out, lift you up, let you take me back, just like a dream, at least for me, Abilene. All right. take a bow, just like a dream, at least for me. Everything, just like a dream, at least for me. Just like a dream, at least for me. Just like a dream, at least for me.
All right. Yeah. Who's here to see Sisters of Slide tonight? Well, what are the rest of you here for? Come on, let's hear that. Yeah. All right. We are very, very, very honored to have Cindy Cashdollar and Rory Block in the house tonight. It's two of the most monumental blues musicians and incredible women and girl power on stage tonight, folks. All right, a couple of things. The door you came in and out of is your main entrance. In and out, there is also an emergency exit behind the stage. We don't expect to use that, but just know where it is. Please turn your cell phone volume off, and please turn your flash off, okay? And that's rule number one. No flash, no cell phone volume. And rule number two, have fun, all right? This is going to be a great, great show tonight, all right? And stick around after for the interview, and we'll be bringing them on here shortly. So have a good time tonight, folks. This is the last day of our fundraiser for 2019. I want to thank all of you who contributed to the GRC PAC and to keep the music alive here at the Fallout Shelter. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll be compiling everything that we owe out to people, T-shirts and wine and stuff like that. So you'll be expect to hear from us over the next week or two, and we can compile all the numbers. All right? Have fun tonight, guys.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. This is Rory Block and Cindy Cashdollar. We're Sisters of Slide. And you are watching, thank you, you are watching the extended play sessions. And we'd like to start this set with Death Letter Blues by Son House. I got a little this morning, how do you reckon it ran? Oh, hurry, hurry, man, your love is dead. I got a letter this morning, how do you reckon it read? Well, hurry, hurry, man, your love is dead. Said I packed my suitcase, I truck on up the road. When I got there, he was laying on cooling bone. I packed my suitcase and I truck on up the road. When I got there, he was laying on a cooling bone. Then I walked up close, I looked down in his face. He's a good old man, got to lay down till judgment day. I walked up close and I looked down in his face. Well, he's a good old man, got to lay down till judgment day. Looked like 10,000 people standing on the burying ground. I didn't know that I loved him till they laid him down. Looked like 10,000 standing on the burying ground. Well, I didn't know that I loved him till they began to have down. Cindy Cashdollar, I was hugging the pillow where he used to lay. I said, "Ooh, this morning, just about the break of day." When I was hugging the pillow where my good man used to lay. I got up this morning, I feel around for my shoes. I say, you know, got them on walking blues. Up this morning, I feel around for my shoes. Well, you know about it, I must have had those walking blues. Let's hear it one time. Feel around for my shoe. You know I got those walking blues. Up this morning I feel around for my shoe. Well, you know about it, I must have had those walking blues. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Can I please get a little more Rory's guitar in my monitor? Thank you. Just a little more Rory's guitar in my monitor, please. Please and thank you.
Let's try an early blues song by a great blues master whose name was McKinley Morganfield. And my parents had his blues records in my house when we were growing up. And I always loved this song. I've recorded it. It's called I Be Bound. And there are those in the house who know, and those in the audience listening know that McKinley Morganfield, who played with a slide, he played with an acoustic guitar, he had a percussive style, not unlike If I Had Possession over Judgment Day by Robert Johnson. He just hit the neck with the slide. It was all very percussive. And he went on to plug his guitar in, and he was on the cutting edge. He went electric, changed his name, and became the Great Muddy Waters. I know my mean old baby, he don't know I'm here. He don't feel my love, don't even feel my care. I be bound to write to you. I can read your letter, babe, don't care what you do. Well, I'm leaving town this morning, don't you wanna go? But it would take God to tell you, come here no more. And you're almost gone. I can read your letter, babe, don't care what you do. Well, I'm leaving town this morning, don't you wanna go? But it would take God to tell you, come here no more. I'll be bound to write to you. I can read your letter, babe, don't care what you do. If anybody asks you who composed this song, tell them it's the Heartbreaker. I've been here and gone, I'll be bound to write to you. I can read your writing, babe, don't care what in the world you do. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a little bit.
So is it okay for me to say that there's a 60-second commercial going on right now? Okay. So you won't wonder why we...
Every day I try to tell you how I feel. No one hears me, no one sees me, though I try to.
This song is going, thank you so much. We're still here. We're still here. Great, having a great time down here in the Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
That's right. We thank them for having us here tonight. We thank you for coming out. And we thank those who may be listening tonight. We'd like to do a song called Frankie Now Verse by Mississippi John Hurt. He was rediscovered in the 1960s. My friend Stephen Grossman called me up. I was 14 years old. And he said, Mississippi John Hurt's been rediscovered. He said, let's go and see him play. So we took a subway. We went down to a theater in Long Island. And we walked into the back room because Stephen knew everybody, and he had a permanent backstage pass wherever he went. So we walked in, and there sat the beautiful Mississippi John Hurt. Now, we know this song is based on a true story about a lady named Frankie Silvers. I won't tell you the long story tonight, but I urge you to look it up online because it's more intense and more amazing than the way the popular version that went out could possibly depict. I want you to read the original about a lady who lived in the 1800s. Mississippi John Hurt created this version of the story. I said Frankie was a good girl, everybody knows. But she paid $100 for Albert's suit of clothes. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. I said that Frankie went down to the corner saloon. She didn't go to be gone long. No, she peeked through the keyhole in the door by Albert and Alice's arms. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. You know that Frankie called to Albert. No, but Albert said, I don't care. Or if you don't come to the woman, you don't go haul you out of here. You was my man. Nobody ain't done me wrong. I said to Frankie, shot old Albert. Now she shot him 3-4 times. Then you go back, get the smoke of my gun. You see old Albert dying. He was my man. Nobody ain't done it wrong. Oh, come on now. Dark was the night, cold was on the ground. No last words, but Frankie said, I laid old Albert down. He was my man, but he was doing me wrong. I said the judge and Frankie walked out on the stand. They walk out side by side. No judge said, Mr. Frankie, now you're gonna be justified for killing a man. I know he done you wrong. Oh, come on, and one more time, let's hear that. Frankie was a good girl, everybody knows. But she paid $100 for Albert's suit of clothes. He was her man. Nobody ain't done her wrong. Oh, poor Frankie. Cindy Cashdollar.
Thank you. Rory
Thank
Block.
you. Cindy Cashdollar. Okay, yeah, Cindy is saying if we make an adjustment that she can't hear me too well, and so
Still cannot hear Rory's guitar, so I would like to.
I am kind
do
of
that
low in
song
my
again.
monitor too. Or either that, or we could just move on. Oh, all right. What do you think? Yep. Check, check. I guess give me a little more too, because I'm a little quiet, but I don't mind. Check, check. A little more vocal, a little more guitar.
A little more, please. Rory. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so
Try one more time.
all right. This ruins everything, but you want to just keep the info, the introduction from the previous time, or should I start from scratch? Yeah, well, she wants to do it again because she said she
I
couldn't
could not
hear,
her guitar.
and so yeah, okay, all right,
Sorry. Keep the
okay.
intro.
I mean,
Okay.
actually, I thought it was pretty fantastic what you
Yeah,
played.
it was pretty wild.
Yeah, take two.
But
No,
now
no,
you will
no.
know the
All right.
story of Frank and Albert really well.
Wait, I'm going to tell a different. I'm going to tell a different story and give them a choice. How about that? We'll make it a
Good
little
deal.
different. Yeah, Mississippi. You heard about how Mississippi John was rediscovered and how Stefan and I went down there and saw him. But the true story of Frankie Silvers was that she was a teenage girl married to a teenage guy named Charlie Silvers. They lived in the 1800s in North Carolina, and everybody said that Charlie ran around with other women and that it was sort of well known that he was a violent husband, that he beat her up, and it was just in that day and time, you know what I'm about to say. People didn't make a remark about it, they just knew it. But so at one point it was discovered that Charlie was missing, and it was assumed that it had to be Frankie. So she was arrested, put on trial. Her defense, it was portrayed as a jealous wife killing her cheating husband. That's the way the story went out. But in fact, she was condemned to death, by the way, and then she recanted her story afterwards, and she said that it was self-defense. Okay, now, in that day and time, you can imagine, that didn't go, she knew nobody would believe her, and she was right. There were just a few people, and they rode through the mountains on horseback with petitions to save her life, that she was truly, did what she did out of self-defense. In the end, she was hanged. And I played, it's a tragic story. I played at a venue called the Jailhouse Gallery in North Carolina one time years ago. And below the stage were the original jail cells. They kept them like kind of a museum. And the one that Frankie Silver's teenage girl waited to be executed was right below the stage. Think about that. It's just so, but the story that went out to you know, most of the public through this Frankie and Johnny and all these different versions of this type of story didn't go into that, but went into it as if it was a woman finding a man cheating on her and, you know, executing him, etc. Mississippi John Hurt, Frankie and Albert. I said Frankie was a good girl, everybody knows, but she paid $100 for Albert's suit of clothes. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. I said that Frankie went down to the corner saloon. She didn't go to be gone long. Now she peeked through the keyhole of the doors, find Albert in Alice's arms. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. I said to Frankie, called to Albert. No, but Albert said, I don't care. Boy, if you don't come to the woman you love, gonna haul you out of here. You was my man, but you doing me wrong. I said that Frankie shot old Albert. No, she shot him 3 or 4 times. So draw back, get the smoke of my gun, and see old Albert dying. He was my man. Nobody done me wrong. Oh. Said I ain't gonna tell no story, Lord, I ain't gonna tell no lies. Said Albert passed about an hour ago, a girl called Alice cried. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. I said the judge and Frankie walk out on the stand. They walk out side by side. The judge said to Frankie, now you're gonna be justified for killing a man. I know he ain't done you wrong. Cindy Cashdollar. Well. I said that Frankie was a good girl. Everybody knows. But she paid $100 of Albert's suit of clothes. He was her man. Oh, but he done her wrong. Poor Frankie. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. I don't see a taking a break sign, so I'm going to forge onwards with this next song. Keep going?
See, I was prepared for that one.
I'll get used to that snap by the end of the show.
Did not even flinch.
I never have been able to use a tuner. I just do it by ear, you know. I get more confused when there's a tuner. I can't figure out why it's wobbling around all over the place and never settles down. Let me hear your chord, because this doesn't sound... Let me hear the whole chord. Play the whole chord for me. Thank you.
I'm not sure if tuning to a slide guitar is such a wise idea, but we can try.
Okay, let me hear it again, please. Somehow you're sharper than I am. I don't know how that happened.
How could that possibly... All right, we'll check.
This is a song that I wrote. I mean, let's get real here for a moment. Years ago, I wrote it to somebody who had a drinking problem. He was a beautiful man. He was a great musician. He could play like nobody's business. He was loving. He was very honest. He was a real honest person, but in a beautiful way. And we got together. We fell in love. But after a while, it appeared that there was a drinking problem. And he started to act much more crazy. So it taught me something, which is that we're all on, we might just be all on best behavior, you know, in the beginning. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes we do it too, right? And sometimes someone does it to us, but sometimes we fall in love and then the problems start to unfold. So I called up an 800 number. It was the first 800 number ever invented, I think. Because there was a day and time when there were no iPads, no phones, no anything, no 800, no credit cards. It was back in the day. And this beautiful lady talked to me for days, and she said, "You can't save him." I said, "What do you mean?" I could hide the bottle, be a better person, say the right thing. She said, "Nothing you say or do will make any difference. And if he's going to the bottom, you're going with him." And so that really gave me a wake-up call. And in the end, I was able to sort of pull myself out of the situation, but it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. So this is the song that I wrote that dear person. And after we parted ways, he stopped drinking. That was, you know, getting to be 30-something years ago, and he's still a beautiful person, he's still a great musician, and he's still a friend of mine. So there's always hope. This became a hit record in the Netherlands when they released it as a single. It's called Love and Whiskey. Well, if you live in dusty twilight, baby, that's okay, 'cause there are women at the bar to greet you every day. And you can take them back to life with you and visit Jamie's room, but they can never take the pain away or brighten all the gloom. And if your hands clenched in sorrow, may it help you ease your pain, though the windows have a view of city rain. City rain. Well, if you walk in constant sorrow and you cry for me, if you're hit with painful memories, maybe then you'll see that if you drown yourself in liquor because it keeps you company, just remember who you're losing and be proud to set me free, because it don't talk back, it don't disagree, said it just makes you see so hazily. But in the morning light, your life is scattered with the wind, scattered with the wind. Well, you know, they tell you on the telephone to let him go. Said they tell you he's a sinking ship and he's trying to pull you down, don't you know? But every time you call me up, say you want me back, you know, you break my heart. Said you want me to come back home and try again. You want me to make a brand new start. Well, if wisdom says to let him go home, then you know it's hell, because you just don't know until you've tried to love a man who's loving whiskey. Loving whiskey. My baby left me for the bottle and the lure of the nightlife, good times and crazy women, and another glass of Tanqueray. Well, if wisdom says to let him go home, then you know it's hell, because you just don't know until you've tried to love a man who's loving whiskey, loving whiskey. Wisdom says to let him go home, then you know it's hell, because you just don't know until you've tried to love a man who's loving whiskey, loving whiskey. Cindy Cashdollar. Thank you.
Rory Block.
We thank you.
My favorite song.
That's
Beautiful.
me. That's my name.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Barbie.
Still rolling. I know there was a plan to stop every 60 seconds or something for a commercial after every song, but now I know what you're saying in the background. You're saying, we can't control these ladies. We got to let them roll. They're not cooperating. We knew that we were wild.
We did. We had knowledge of it, yes.
All right, now we'd like to do one. See, this is what I do. I put this. This is so silly. We'd like to do one that I transcribed from a reel-to-reel tape recorder. Remember reel-to-reel tapes? Okay. In the 1960s, I ran away from home, and I was only 15, and I landed up in California with my friend Stefan Grossman. And we stayed at the home of a man named Ed Denson. He was one of those good people who were into founding his own record company so that the intelligent record buying public, that's what I call us, so that we could get our hands on some real music, some of the old American, roots music, which major labels at the time wanted nothing to do with. So they were force-feeding the market with brand X and brand Y. And they thought we weren't smart enough to know that there were other styles out there. So we created, you and me, we created the market for alternative music and different styles and much diversity in music by insisting on it. Thank you. And waiting online at record stores and saying, well, I'd like this Memphis Mini record. And they go, well, we don't carry that. And you say, well, I'll wait while you order it. And that's how the market got created. So we take the credit, as I often say, the intelligent record buying public. Yes. We proved that there were other brands other than just X and Y. X and Y is cool, I grant you that, but. Okay, I have to check to see that I am tuned to you. So give me your best, what is it, a B chord?
Give me your tired, your poor, your B notes.
Your best B notes. Give them, okay, here. No, give the whole chord. It's the best thing for me. I guess my strings are going down a little as I play them. So there we were in Berkeley. And Stefan had a reel-to-reel tape of Willie Brown playing this song, beautiful song called Mississippi Blues. It was entrancing. It was just a magical, beautiful song. And I stayed up all night. That was really important to me. I felt like, now I'm a grown-up. I don't have to sleep if I don't want to. That's how I thought. That's how I saw it. So I stayed up all night, and I transcribed. And by morning light, I was able to do this. That was really... that was a tricky little thing. It was very elusive, but I got it. And the next day I had a version of Mississippi Blues that Stefan then put onto his tape lesson series that came out, and my transcription of that song, I did not write it, Willie Brown wrote it, but my transcription and that thus subtle arrangement changes. But, ultimately, Willie Brown should certainly get the royalties and the credit. The song's called Mississippi Blues. Lord, I'm going back to the Delta. Don't you know I can't have my fun? God, I got to have my fun, baby. Lord, I'm going back to the Delta. Don't you know I can't have my fun? Where I can drink my white light and gamble, where I can bring my baby home. Lord, don't the Delta look lonesome when Lord, and when the evening sun go down, oh, God Almighty. Lord, and don't the Delta look lonesome when you know that evening sun go down. When you've been looking for your baby, don't know where he could be found. Lord, he treats me dirty, but don't you know love him just the same? treat me dirty, but Lord, you know I love him just the same. You know it just breaks my heart to hear some other girl called her name. Oh, come on, we gonna find her. Walking now, I got to walk it down. All right. Come on. Come on, strut it now, get some attitude. All right, Cindy. When I come on, Lord, I said I won't be back till 4. Lord, now goodbye, I'm gonna leave you when Lord said I won't be back till 4. You know if I find me a good man, Lord said I won't be back no more. Come on now, take us out, all right. Gonna take a stroll. Cindy Cashdollar. Man, she can play that thing.
Thank you.
Woo!
Was that on the instructional vinyl? That song?
Yeah.
How to Play Blues Guitar?
Yeah.
I had that record.
You know, that's so cool. I love that. She got that.
I
What
did.
year was that? You. I didn't even know about this till years later. You told me that you had that. Sunshine Kate, did it say was my name, or did it have me as Aurora Block?
It was
at that point?
was How to Play Blues Guitar by
Yeah.
Stefan Grossman and Aurora Block.
That's
And
right. They named me that before I had a
It
choice.
was such a pretty name. I thought it was just the coolest name, and
Yeah.
I was aware of some of the songs. So anyway, I was playing just regular guitar, as I call it, at the time. Not even had started on slide guitar. So
Hey, you came over for a guitar lesson.
I
Remember
did.
that?
Years
Yeah,
later, I took a lesson from Rory too. I was so
I
nervous.
thought, why
Oh
is
my
she
God.
taking lessons? She's too good to take lessons.
I was a huge fan and nervously went to Rory's for a lesson, but some years before that, I had ordered this How to Play Blues guitar record, so I got it in the mail, and the first night I had it, it was on the kitchen counter, and it fell behind the kitchen counter, like between the wall and the counter. Like there was no way. I was like crying, asking my father if he could please, can't you just take the cabinet out? So
Can you please disassemble the kitchen so I can get my stuff? Yeah.
anyway, it's probably still there. So, but it's nice to be able to actually play it with Rory now.
So after listening to the way Cindy can just tear up that song, I think I would like to ask her to do us one by herself, a solo. Wanted to let you know that Cindy has been working on her second release. She's got one out already called Slideshow with lots of great super guests. And because Cindy is one of the most sought after people to tour with different bands. She's been on the road now with Asleep at the Wheel, Grammy-winning Sleep at the Wheel, and with so many others, from Leon Redbone to Van Morrison. I mean, you name it. And Albert
Lots of
Lee and
folks.
Albert Lee. And so now she's working
Rory
on
Block.
her follow-up album. She likes. I'm going to let her tell you about it and do a song, the title song. Would you do that for
Yes.
us? Okay.
yes.
Beautiful.
Well, first of all, it is about dang time that the second CD came out. The first one, as Roy said, a slideshow, which had a lot of fun guests on it. Sonny Landreth and Jorma Kaukonen and Marcia Ball and Mike Aldridge and Steve James. So anyway, here we are, fast forward 15 years later, and takes me a while, but I'm working on my second CD, which will be out, thankfully, by November. And the title cut is called Waltz for Abilene. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of guests, and this is one that is with Larry Campbell playing fiddle and mandolin. So you'll have to imagine kind of a band behind me. I'm going to play
The
you
multi-talented.
the multi-talented Larry Campbell that plays every instrument known to man, I think, and is a very sweet, wonderful person. So yes, big hand for Larry Campbell. So I write songs once in a blue moon, just like I put out my CDs. So anyway, I was actually in the town of Abilene, Texas, and I thought it was a pretty name, so I wanted to write a waltz for it.
I'm so glad you did this and named your album after this, my favorite song, because initially you were going to call your album after your email address. And I
Well,
said,
not
no,
the
Cindy, don't do
total
that.
email
Don't
address.
use your email address as your album title. And so
No, just
she-
part of the email address.
So she went back to this beautiful song and beautiful title,
just part of the email
Cindy
address.
Cashdollar.
This makes more sense, yes.
Oh, yeah. I just take that song to a desert island
Thank you so much.
and have that song to listen to. As you can see, Cindy has an array of outstanding instruments. Some of them are made by her husband, a expert builder, Harvey Citron. You may have heard of him, and some by some other folks. But I know you said you polished the antique coins on the neck the other day, and you really can see them
Yeah,
now.
now you can
They're
see
beautiful.
this is a baritone Weizenborn. Weizenborns were koa wood guitars that were primarily made in the 1920s at first by Henry P. Weizenborn. He was a piano maker that obviously dabbled in other instruments. But now there are quite a few companies that make them, and this is made by Pogriva Guitars. Larry Pogriva, who also makes, he made guitars for Sonny Landreth and Bonnie Raitt and David Lindley. But this is like the big Bertha, the big hip gal version of a Weisenborn, and he's got antique coins from the 1850s inlaid here on the neck. And I was looking at them the other day when I was changing the strings and thought, God, it's so sad. They're like so black and dark. I don't think anybody ever cleaned them. So just for you, they got all spiffed up.
And we appreciate it. I know we do.
Sometimes that scares me, and sometimes it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, all right. Now I'd like to do a little miniature slide workshop for you now. My slide workshops have become very well attended these days. There's a lot of folks who are interested in slide. And so I'll give you a little quick history lesson in my progress and how I got to this point. In the beginning, 1960-something, I heard Robert Johnson, and I thought, that can't be slide. It's too smooth. It's too perfect. It's too beautiful. It doesn't buzz. Because I had friends, and they were starting out playing slide, and they would just break a big wine bottle and had bigger hands than I did, and they would play. But it sounded so different to me. I thought that can't be what Robert Johnson was playing. Years rolled by, and I finally realized I had an epiphany. I thought, you know what, he's playing slide, and I need to learn how to do this thing, because a lot of people are getting really good, and I'm sitting around not dealing with it. So I started practicing, and I sounded so bad. It was like someone trying to play fiddle for the first time. I would race up the neck. I would overshoot or undershoot the fret. I just was not getting it. And my vibrato was very buzzy and very fast and nervous sounding. So that went on for a few years. It was a high level of frustration. Finally, I got a massive clue by Bonnie Raitt playing on one of my records, and we mixed her in the studio and soloed her beautiful playing in the speakers. Just Bonnie. And I listened and I went, oh, I'm doing it all wrong. I'm doing it all wrong. It was relaxed. And I thought, she's just taking a stroll up the neck. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, and I thought, oh, I'm racing around trying to get it right. It's not about that. It's about feel and attitude, you know. And then I noticed something else, that her vibrato was very relaxed and very nice, and it wasn't so crazy precise that I was trying to do it too precise, and it was all funky and loose and beautiful. But I noticed something else amazing, which is she would rest for a moment when she got to where she wanted to be and hesitate for this really special moment. I'll show you how important it is if you're a slide player. And then do the rock. It makes a big difference. Listen to this. Did you hear that? You know what I'm talking about? Bonnie does that. It's just that poignant moment where you go, okay, I'm here, I've arrived, and now I just need to take a quick breath, and then I'm going to do my vibrato. So, you know, Bonnie also did this thing that I call leap with a slide. So here's something else you can do. So we all know that slide goes up, but did you also think, I didn't think at first, it can also go down. This British player named Brendan Croker, who plays in a band, who used to play with Mark Knopfler in a band called the Notting Hillbillies, he came to the United States, and he was playing in the town where I live, and we got together, and he played on one of my records, and I watched him play, and I thought, he also goes down. I thought slide can go up, and it can go down, and it can leap. And then I heard Son House play County Farm, and I went, you know what, you can fret with a slide. You don't have to slide along the string. Sometimes you can lift up, you can be airborne, and you can land on the next fret. You can land on the melody. I'll show you what I mean. You don't have to glide over the strings. It's still slide, and you still have your vibrato. It's still unique sounding. So there's that. And then there's the percussion that slide can offer you. So you can really use it for like a drumming sound, right? And then slide can reverse directions. You can do like when you're in first gear and you don't put your foot on the brake and you switch into reverse. You've all tried that, right? You can do that with your slide. So what am I leaving out? But anyway, let me play a song for you now that embodies almost everything that I just described to you. It's by Son House and it's called County Farm. Down south when you do anything that's wrong. Down south when you do anything that's wrong. Down south when you do anything that's wrong. Sure put you down on the county farm. Put you down under a man called Captain Jack. Put you down under a man called Captain Jack. Put you down under a man called Captain Jack. Sure write his name up and down your back. Put you down in the ditch with a great long spade. Put you down in the ditch with a great long spade. Put you down in a ditch with a great long spade. Wish to God you'd never been made. On a Sunday the boys be looking sad. On a Sunday, the boys be looking sad. On a Sunday, the boys be looking sad. Just wondering about how much time they had.
Rory Block. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it so much. Cindy, let's do the one that we did opening for Richard Thompson now. Cindy knows everybody. She really does. And
Well,
so
not everybody, but
I'm going to wait. Thank you. All right. So we'd like to do one for you. We, Cindy and I went on tour briefly with Richard Thompson, opening for Richard. And that came about, I'm sure there's some Richard Thompson fans in the house tonight because we played in Boston. That's right, we came through Boston. Cindy and I warmed up the show. And that tour came about because Cindy said, well, what, do you like Richard Thompson? I said, sure, are you kidding? I love Richard Thompson. She said, hold on a minute. And she goes, Richard, Sisters of Slide would like to open for you. Okay, all right, no problem. We'll be there. And so you see, it's that easy for her because that's how beloved she
now,
is.
to be truthful, I heard he was touring the Northeast, so yes, I thought that made sense. We live in the Northeast, so I called him up, and he's such a delightful, sweet man, and he was, oh wow, he was very, very sweet about the whole thing, and such an incredible show. Every show I've seen of Richard's is amazing, and so are these. So it was so fun to share these tour dates with him. So he played this song with us that we're about to do, which is also very sweet. Oftentimes the headlining artist does not appear on stage before it's their time.
They might not even watch your set if you're opening. They might not even be around.
No.
You know, that's normal. That's okay. That's cool.
But he came and joined us, and I wanted to glue him to the chair. I didn't want him to leave. He sounded so good.
Yeah, to be to even underscore that, he walked out on stage and sat down with us in our opening set. Now, you got to say that that's unusual. It was very beautiful. We had been talking about this song I mentioned to Richard, my mother used to sing this song that we'd like to do for you to me when I was growing up, and he said that his grandmother sang it too. Now, his grandmother came from where it was written. So, I mean, that gives you like a few special shivers thinking about that. So he walked out and he sat down with us and he played the most beautiful acoustic guitar I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it was really, I thought, my life has changed listening to him play. We'd like to do that song for you right now. It's called The Water Is Wide. The water is wide, I cannot cross over. Neither have I the wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall roam. My love and I, there is a ship, and it sails the sea, and it's loaded deep, as deep could be, but not so deep as this violin. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, I know not how I sink or swim. The water is wide, I cannot cross over. Neither have I the wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two. Hey, 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 and both shall roam. My love and I. I lean my back up against some oak, thinking it was a trusty tree, but first it leaned, and then it broke, as did mine. False love to me, the cannot cross over. Neither have I the wings to fly. Give me a bow that can carry two, and both shall roam. My love and I. Take us on out now. All right. Cindy Cashdollar.
Hey, Rory Block, thank you so much.
Cindy. We thank you. We totally appreciate it. Thank you. I'd like to do a little song that I wrote when I was touring in the Netherlands. And that year, 1997, I happened to have a band. I released a record called Tornado with a band. Normally, my stuff is solo. I'm sure we're doing the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I apologize. Because I was talking before out of turn. That's the thing that I know. See, they have to work on this thing, and it's got to be like, I can't have my intro cut in half. So let me start again.
It's like that. It's like the dog whisper. Like, it's like that.
That's right.
Same kind of response.
That's right. Hope they don't mind us funning on their behalf. We really think they're terrific and we love them. Yeah, we think you're
Yes,
we
they
think
are.
you're
It's a
terrific
wonderful place.
and we love you. Thank you. All right. So here I was touring with a band, and that was unusual for me, but I loved it. I loved it so much. Had Rob Leon, sometimes he was in the band. Sometimes Scott Petito. She knows all those people. Woodstock-based musicians, some of them. And a drummer from England named Neil Wilkinson. And after I met him, actually I can't just go on all night with the stories, but just briefly, I was asked to fill in for a very famous artist who was unable at the last moment. I think it might have been an illness thing or something happened, and this particular artist could not headline a festival in Belgium, and I had already had my gold record in that part of the world, so they called me up to take over the headline role, and there was a band there that was designed to back up that artist. So that's how I met this guy, Neil Wilkinson. He had been brought in from the UK, and he was one of the best songwriter drummers. That's what they call him. Did you ever meet Neil?
I never did.
No, he was around Woodstock. He played
I'm a
with Artie
fan.
Traum, and everybody fell in love with his
I
playing.
missed that, but I'm a big fan of his playing.
Yeah. And so he was there. That's how I met him. And then on the next tour where I needed a band, I used Neil again. No brainer. So Neil was on stage, and they were working on the drum sound. And I just got a little bored. I was in my chair, started playing a little riff. Just sort of started improvising. Next thing I know, Neil is playing along with the sticks on the rim of the snare. And then the bass player was playing fretless bass. Started playing swooping chords, and it was totally beautiful. It sounded like Jaco Pastorius. sounded so good, I raced back to my hotel room and I wrote the rest of the song. I used a dream that was a recurring dream in my life. I dreamt that I could fly, not in an airplane. I don't like flying in an airplane. I want to fly like a bird. So I had these dreams so vivid. Put the dreams to the words. Wrote the song right there. Then we rented a studio in the Netherlands. And that's where we recorded this song. It's called Silver Wings. Two houses were born in a very different time. And I saw one from above as I circled in a cloud. And I was flying in a cloud and I had white porches, small window. It had a wild front yard. Had a wild front yard and I was flying. I didn't want to fall down. I was flying, trying not to fall down too far, but my faith can pull me up on silver wings. Silver, yeah. I heard a voice, and it was Wendy saying, she said a soul wants to be born. She said you will be its mother, yeah. You know you are its chosen one, a nurse and a baby. He was my own little child. Then he looked at me so wild, and he had laughter in his eyes. And I was crying, I didn't want to fall down. I was crying, trying not to fall down too far, but my faith can pull me up on silver wings. Silver, yeah. I had a friend, she was wise and patient. She had raven black hair, and her eyes were morning blue. You know she always spoke the truth, and she rode white horses that she raised on a farm. Many birds were singing. There were birds everywhere, and she was flying. She didn't want to fall down. She was flying, trying not to fall down too far, but her faith could pull her up on silver strings. Silver, yeah. And I was flying, I didn't want to fall down. I was flying, trying not to fall down too far, but my faith could pull her up on silver string. Silver, yeah. Well, hey, silver. Silver, yeah. Well, oh yeah. Hey, silver. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Would you like to? All right. So do you have the introduction from the other? Okay, perfect. All right. I will. If I could take a second, I think my bass string went out of tune. So Cindy, can I hear your C chord? We're gonna do that again. All right. Well, they can perhaps edit me saying we're going to do it another time. And so thank you for being part of this. The song is called Silver Wings. Two houses were born in a very different time, and I saw one from above as I circled in a cloud, and I was flying in a cloud, and I had white porches, small windows, it had a wild front yard. Had a wild front yard, and I was flying. I didn't want to fall down. I was flying, trying not to fall down too far, but my faith can pull me up on silver wings, silver, yeah. I heard a voice, and it was Wendy saying. She said a soul wants to be born. She said you will be its mother, yeah. You know you are its chosen one. I was nursing a baby. He was my own little child, oh baby now. Then he looked at me so wild, and he had laughter in his eyes, and I was crying. I didn't want to fall down. I was crying. Trying not to fall down too far, but my faith can pull me up on silver wings, silver, yeah. I had a friend, and she was wise and patient. She had raven black hair, and her eyes were morning blue. You know she always spoke the truth, and she rode white horses that she raised on a farm. Many birds were singing, there were birds everywhere, and she was flying. She didn't want to fall down. She was flying, trying not to fall down too far, but her faith could pull her up on silver string. Silver, yeah. I heard a voice, and it was Wendy saying. She said a soul wants to be born. She said you will be its mother, yeah. You know you are its chosen one. I was nursing a baby. He was my own little child. Then he looked at me so wild, and he had laughter in his eyes. I was crying. I didn't want to fall down. I was crying, trying not to fall down too far, but my faith can pull me up on silver wings, Silver, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I was crying. I didn't want to fall down. I was crying, trying not to fall down too far, but my faith, yeah. My faith can pull me up on silver wings. Silver, yeah, 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 yeah. Silver. Sheila, oh, well, hey, hey. We thank you. Thank you so much. Oh.
Just need a minute. Just need a minute.
I'm sorry. Form or encore? I don't know. Whatever you guys want. This is your fallout shelter. And we're just passing through, hoping for the best. I hope they don't mind us funning them. We're just funning.
We're just passing
We knew we'd go
through.
crazy. We knew we'd be out of control. We always are. We're double trouble.
Tuning and asking for towels.
Blue towels. There is an artist. I won't say the artist's name.
Oh, come on.
And a venue. No, it wouldn't be right. This venue told me, you know, every now and then you learn from a venue something about the other artists who play there. And they said, yeah, their rider said burgundy-colored towels. And, you know, in Holland, they call, the booking agents call that pink elephants. The artists will give you a list of special requests. You know, M&Ms with, you know, no blue and that kind of thing. But that's okay. You know, you have to say that a lot of people have earned the right, you know.
Actually, that story about, I'm sure you're all familiar with, or most of it, or the story that the rock band that had the special request of the no green M&Ms and the vulva. Actually, that was done to make sure that the venue that was having them was paying attention to their list of wants and needs.
You mean you
That's
know the
why they did
original?
that.
You know the original? Don't tell the name of the band.
I won't say the name of the band.
You might have even been on that tour. That's the feeling I'm getting. You were there.
I'm getting deja vu. So next time I come here, it's got to be like chartreuse towels or something. Oh, we're doing are we doing the Reverend?
Let's do Reverend Robert Wilkins. And Cindy's going to introduce this one. It's on her new record.
So as I mentioned before, on the new CD that's coming out, Waltz for Abilene, there's a lot of guest artists on there, Sonny Landreth and Albert Lee and Ray Benson and Marcia Ball's playing great piano,
Wow,
and
yeah.
Amy Helm is singing beautifully.
Levon's daughter, Amy.
And Omar Kent Dykes from Omar and the Howlers, and a lot of people. And
It's a record to get. It's a record to have, that's for sure.
I can't wait till actually I have it here so I can hold it up for you. But the happy thing too is that Ms. Rory Block is also on there. And this is a tune we did by the Reverend Robert Wilkins called That Ain't No Way for Me to Get Along.
Now you be watching me, Cindy, because I might do the wrong number of verses between solos. So you got to like pay attention to this crazy old gal over here.
I'm gonna make him come up here and just do that right in your ear, just for punishment.
Just because you know it scares me. I'm going home and tell Mama, Lord, tell my mom, and tell my pa, Lord, sit down, tell my pa. Said I'm going home, sit down and tell my mom. I'm going home, sit down and tell my pa. That there's no way for me to get along. The low down men daddy, they treated your poor gal wrong. But they treated your poor gal wrong. Said low down man that treated your poor gal wrong. The low down man that treated your poor gal wrong. And there's no way for me to get along. They treated me like my poor hide was made of hate rock and stone. Daddy made him a rock and stone. Treat me like my poor hide made him a rock and stone. Treat me like my poor hide made of a rock and stone. And that's no way for me to get along. Lonesome road, I cried alone, all by myself. Lord, I cried alone by myself. Stood on the roadside and cried alone by myself. Said I stood on the roadside and cried alone by myself. And there's no way for me to get along. You know that was enough, that ain't to make you gal. Wish she's dead and gone, then I wish she's dead and gone. Hey, hey, was a little big gown, then I wish she's dead and gone. Was a little big gown, then I wish she's dead and gone. And that's no way for me to get along. Along that lonesome road, I cried alone, all by myself. Lord, I cried all by myself. Said I stood on the roadside and cried all by myself. Said I stood on the roadside and cried all by myself. And there's no way for me to get along. Said now there's no way for me to get along. That's no way for me to get along. So now that's no way for me to get along. We thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We thank you. by rights, you should ask me to do that one again because wow, 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 wow. I did too few to go rounds, too many go rounds.
See, I told you, here he comes. He's going to do it right in your ear.
Yeah. But I won't do it again. No. It'll be worse the next time. Not, okay, we have to wait. No. I just need you to. Cindy, do we do this one with me capoing in the second part? Is that Gypsy Boy?
No, just regular.
Regular, okay. I think we should do it on the second part. What's that?
G. It's in G. Gypsy Boy, right?
Yeah. Oh, so that's on the second fret. Okay,
Gypsy
yeah.
Boy, right?
I think that this would be the key then.
It'll be that. We're just doing our own little clinic up here between us.
Think of this as a clinic. Cindy tries to get me to practice, but I've always resisted practicing. Since the old days, my parents tried to get me to practice, and I refused. So they gave up on me, and then I went off and did my own thing. Okay, I wrote this little song, and this was quite a few years ago now. I was on Rounder Records, so I have 14 for Round. Oh, you know, I don't want to forget to tell you. My mentor series is here today. This is based on recorded tributes to the blues masters who were rediscovered in the 60s who I met in person. None of these tributes are to people I did not meet. They're all the blues. Mentor series is Booker White, Skip James, met all these folks, fantastic musicians and great inspirations to me. Mississippi John Hurt, these are all here tonight. Son House, my biggest inspiration. And Reverend Gary Davis. So there should be 6 of them up here. Maybe it looks like there's only 5 of them. Somebody's missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's missing, Rob? We need a 5th.
Bessie.
No. That's a different series. But thank you. Yeah, there's. You know, the audience is just are so fantastic. They pay attention and everything, and they're better than I am at figuring out my stuff. So here's a book that I wrote, and it's sold out, unfortunately, tonight, but you can buy it from Amazon. It has a chapter for every one of the blues masters who were rediscovered, a chapter for Bonnie Raitt, chapter for Taj Mahal, and a chapter for Stevie Wonder. We're going to talk about him in a second regarding this latest, and it's not very politically correct because I wrote it about over 10 years ago, and boy, the times have changed. So I probably said a few things that, the perspective, let's put it this way, is new and different right now. So don't buy the book, whatever. Just kidding. You can get it from Amazon. And this one is my new series. It's called Power Women of the Blues. And it's tributes, thank you, to some folks that were in part somewhat overlooked in the 1960s. We didn't find as much released. We found a lot of Bessie Smith, but a lot of the great founding women of the blues were not being readily distributed and easy to find. It was a tough time. Over the years, more people started making compilations and more of the great female players became available. So my mission is to make people know the original names of the artists. This was nominated for something like Acoustic Album of the Year, and I just won my 6th Blues Music Award in Memphis for Acoustic Artist of the Year. So I'm feeling kind of happy. Kind of happy about that. So that's the first of, there are going to be 6 totals. It's going to be tough to make the decision who to do next. So we're starting the new record. Anyway, there'll be 6 of the Power Women of the Blues series as well. when I recorded this song, I knew something was missing. I traveled around in my car, and I listened for a couple of weeks thinking something was missing from the song, but I didn't know what it was until it hit me all of a sudden like a bolt of lightning. I knew what was missing from the song. Stevie Wonder was missing. So, you know, it was a long shot. There's a lot of songs that would sound better with Stevie Wonder on them, don't you think? Okay. So it was a bit of a long shot, but I had a friend named Jim Gallagher, and he worked as an engineer with Stevie Wonder in LA at No Brainer Wonderland, Stevie Studio. So I called up Jim and I said, Jim, do you think there's any chance? And he said, well, you know, it's worth a shot. He said, send me a cassette. Remember cassettes? So I sent a cassette to Jim, and I forgot about it because how crazy was that? You know, I had only done 3 records for Rounder, and my goodness, I might have done 20 records since then. I don't know. But so about a week later, I got a call in the wee hours, in the middle of the night, and it was Jim, and he was saying, Stevie said yes. I'm like, you know, it's all about dreaming. You know what I mean? About dreaming for what you want, and it just might come to pass. So that's what happened to me. That was a great stroke of fortune. That great stroke of fortune. So I went to LA, and we were sitting there in an expensive studio back in the day when studios cost $300-400 an hour, and that was your only option. You couldn't make a record for free in a laptop like you can today. They hadn't invented laptops or I this or I that or anything else. So we sat there waiting, and my friend said, what makes you think Stevie Wonder's going to come to your session? And I said, well, you know, I don't know, but just in case he does, I said, this whole thing is worth it. And shortly after, the door opened, and in came Calvin, that was Stevie's cousin, bringing the beautiful Stevie Wonder. And he came in, and he was just so beautiful. He had this aura, a beautiful aura around him. And I felt supernaturally bold in front of him. I don't know why I felt comfortable. I said, Stevie, we didn't put drums on the record because I wanted to leave it wide open for you. And he said, well, he said, whatever you want. He said, you're the artist. And I thought, oh, man, that's good. I never thought of it that way. And it helped me out a lot, believe me, in my career. It helped me out, like Stevie Wonder said. You know what I mean? So he went out into the studio, and I asked if I could stand next to him, and he let me come and stand next to him. And he played 3 solos in a row. They were all perfect. But he was just being generous. You know, you got to really think about, like, he didn't have to do this. So tears were welling up, and I just couldn't hold them back. And I thought, don't fall apart. There's a lot of people on the other side of the control room glass, and they're all looking at you. You don't want to fall apart. But I couldn't hold it back, and sooner or later, the tears flowed down like rivers. And I stood there, and I said, if nothing good ever happens to me ever again, I'm good with this one. You know how the feeling goes. So I'll spare the rest of the story. He didn't charge me. Come on, you know. And so Jim said, well, get him a gift. He's not going to charge you. He knew that we were starving artists, and I'm talking starving artists for real. And so we got him a beautiful gift. There's a picture of him holding that in the book. There's an e-book version that has 3 or 4 pictures, and then there's this that has one of them that I can't remember which one is in this book. But he said to say he's sorry he couldn't make it here tonight, but he sends his best wishes to all of you. This song is called Gypsy Boy. We're sending it out to Stevie tonight. Oh wait, that's out of tune. Gypsy ran away to an island in the south, my love, sweet love, with berries in his mouth, somewhere in the wind, he smells a sweet perfume, my love, sweet love, whistle in a tune. Hey, baby, Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do. Gypsy boy said you own my heart, you hold it in hand, and your loving hand can carry it beside you, and your sweet and lonesome that's all that I can do to make it through. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do. Notes upon the strings, so lovely, while he sings his song, his song. If only I had a wing, yeah, yeah, I would fly away to it on a cabaret, yeah, my love, sweet love, love to hear him play. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do.
Thank you.
Since we have the we have the ability to do a song again, I think we will, because Cindy says we're out of tune, and probably absolutely right. So is that okay with you? And I think I didn't give you the right amount of space before your solo, right? I should have done that. Go around one more time or something.
Oh,
Did I?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. All right, let's get this tuning thing happening. Give me a whole chord. So are you?
That one's flat.
Now it's sharp.
It's the capo.
Yeah, it's the capo.
Maybe move the capo down.
You have to compromise between one fret and the other. One fret's sharp, the other fret is flat. It's crazy that way, but that's the way guitars are. So the more concern to me is, am I flat or sharp from your entire tuning? That's more
Well.
likely. Let me hear you again. Check your lowest.
I think it's okay.
Is it
Spot
sharp?
on. Yep.
Sharp?
Nope. Spot on.
All right. Well, the best we may be able to do is what it seems like it's going to be all right, and then you're playing and you realize it isn't all right. But that's just the way it
That's
goes
life.
in the music business. You do your best. So we're going to
That's
do this one again for Stevie Wonder. We're going to do this for Stevie. It's going out for Stevie tonight. The song is called Gypsy Boy. Gypsy ran away to an island in the south, my love, sweet love, with berries in his mouth, somewhere in the wind. He smells a sweet perfume, my love, sweet love, whistling in a tune. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do. Gypsy boy, said you own my heart, you own it. In your loving hand, and you carry it beside you. In your sweet and lonesome so that I can do to make it through. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do. Notes upon the strings, so lovely, while he sings his song, his song. If only I had a wing, yeah, yeah, I would fly away. In this honey cabaret, yeah, have my love, sweet love, love to hear him sing. Do 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 do. baby. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey baby. Do 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 do. Hey, baby. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, hey. Do 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 do. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Do 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 do. Yeah. That was worth it for Cindy's part. Was really beautiful on that one. Yeah, that was really. That was. I think I cut her off and sent her into her solo the previous time before the time. So she was like, "What? What? What are you doing?"
I never.
Okay. Maybe. Do you think we should skip to Big Road Blues, or are you running? Okay, you're not running short of time. Okay.
I do.
So I really want to do this next song. It's called Mama's Blues, and I used to do it all the time in my sets, and then I sort of let it go for a while because I've got a lot of songs, a lot of records, and there's times when I can't fit everything in, so certain songs sort of go off into the background, and then I forget them a little bit. That's what happens. And then I have to relearn them because Cindy always asks for this song, for Mama's Blues.
Always.
Okay, yeah.
Can't break tradition.
Just to tell you quickly, I wrote at a time when I was feeling very blue, very over the hill, very washed up, very much like damaged goods. I had just turned 24 when I wrote this. I remember feeling like the future was looking grim, nothing to look forward to.
That was the saddest thing about this song. That's how you thought that.
But there's always hope on the other side. Now I've gotten a completely different perspective. Getting older is just plain sexy. You know, hey, I know youth is fun, but you're so beautiful when you get to be wise and patient and, mellower and not so upset about some of the things that you used to get in such a twist about. You're calmer now. You know more. You know yourself. You know others. You're just more beautiful. And I see people sometimes that I haven't seen them for years and years, and then they show up at one of my shows, and I look at them and I go, man, what happened? They look fantastic. They look better than the last time I saw them. And you guys look better too. The last time we were in town, you're just really getting more beautiful. And a friend of mine said, yeah, but you just think that because you need reading glasses and you can't see your friends. So I put on my spectacles and I saw beauty. I saw beauty in my friends. I really did. I think I'm a little tiny bit flat from where you are, but I
Oh,
hesitate.
that'll change.
Yeah.
It's good for now, I think. I really do. I think it's good. But if you want to check, let you know.
So here's the song that I wrote. It's called Mama's Blues. And there are days when every bone in her body is aching, and she feels like everyone hates her. Oh yeah, and she cannot speak, and she sees herself as ugly, yeah, and not worthy of any love. That's Mama's blues, don't you know about it? It makes you wanna cry, oh yeah. Mama's blues, great God Almighty. It makes you wanna cry, oh yeah. And he looks at her like she's crazy. Oh yeah, and he does not understand. He doesn't think that she looks much different, oh, much fatter than before. Yes, she seems to look the same to him, and she's sad that he can't relate to his state of mind. That's Mama's blues, oh yeah. Said I'm talking about it. It makes you wanna cry, oh yeah. Mama blues, oh Lord. It makes you wanna cry, oh yeah. Oh, when Mama gets the blues, I said Papa tries to understand, and he wonders what he needs to do, like to be a better man. Mama's crying 'cause she thinks she's ugly, and the world, oh yeah, and the world is out of hand. And that's Mama's blues, great God Almighty. Makes you wanna cry, oh yeah. Mama's blues, don't you know about it? It makes you wanna cry, oh yeah. Now she's looking at her body in the mirror, oh yeah. And she's crying 'cause her waist is not as tiny as before the babies. And she feels like the world is at an end. Hey, yeah, oh yeah. And she thinks nobody's ever gonna want her body again. Oh Lord. And he wonders what she wants from him. And he's sitting drinking coffee at the breakfast stand, and he tells the waitress that it's lonely at home, and all the young girls take pity on him. Hey, yeah, yeah, don't it make you wanna cry? Oh yeah, oh, don't you know? I said she feels so low down. Hey, yeah, oh yeah, oh, don't you know? I said that Sweet mama's got the blues. Don't you know I said that sweet mama's got the blues. Thank you. We thank you so much. Thank you for your kind patience as we try to make the format be just right for the evening. And we'd like to close with a song that we're going to send out to Bonnie Raitt, wherever she may be tonight.
She
Bonnie,
couldn't make it here either.
No, she
couldn't make it. Stevie couldn't make it. Richard Thompson couldn't make it. We have been totally deserted.
To you. I just realized that now I have to put the cape on and ruin everything. Okay. Now of course I've lost my cape. Should be here. Should be here. All right. Now causing a little crisis, a little glitch. Okay. I know I have a backup
Need
one
a
in
capo
here.
GPS.
No, I got it. Yep. There's there's an additional capo in here given to me by Martin Guitars, and wouldn't you know, it's not here. Okay. I have another thought.
You have tools,
To
though.
where it
That's
might
good.
be.
Pocket.
What?
Pocket?
I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see if I dropped it. Okay. Fantastic. Audience participation. Okay. I just don't. This is actually crazy. Somebody has one. It's what? You know, if that's where it is, I'll have to say that this is a magic trick and that this is the way this trick goes. You ready?
Hey, you ready?
No. All right, this is just plain stupid. You know, have you ever had this happen to you? I know you have. Where you go, where the heck? I saw a little sign that I almost bought from a gift shop. Oh, I see it. It was hiding. It was hiding. And the sign was, it was one of those little plaques that you hang on a nail. It said, "Now that I'm in this room, why did I come here?" And I thought, man, I need to buy that. I found it. Thank you kindly. The people here are some of the nicest people. Some of the nicest people. By the way, after the show, I'll be wherever CDs are sold, and I would be very thrilled to sign whatever you want signed. got all the Mentor series and the Bessie Smith tribute here tonight. Strings sound like rubber bands tonight. I don't know what the. They're in shock. The strings are in shock. Well, Bonnie Raitt and I played this song on stage now twice. And once was in Holland in a wonderful town called Utrecht. It's hard to say for Americans. They say it's hard for Americans to say. But I worked on it because I love other languages and I always want to try to pick up as much as I can. And so we were in a multi-theater complex, a big building that had different theaters inside the one building. And Bonnie was in a 10,000 seat theater and I was in a 400 seat theater. And we were both sold out and the shows were staggered. And so I knew she had come to my show because the double doors in the back of the theater opened and the light shone in and Bonnie's hair was haloed. And I went, oh no, she came to my show, I better be good. And so then I went to her show, and she called me up, and we did this song. And then again, when she came through Albany a couple of years ago, Albany, New York, she invited me to come to the show. And I came down, and then she called me up on stage, and we did this one again. And you can see it on YouTube. Somebody filmed it from the back of a huge house, and we're like two little specks on the stage. But it's actually, you can actually tell it's us. You can tell it's us. The song is called Big Road Blues by Tommy Johnson. Well, I ain't going down no big road by myself. Now don't you hear me talking to your daddy said I ain't going down no big road by myself. I said if I don't get you alone, I'll get somebody else. You take a poor guy's money, but sure God won't take mine. Sure God won't take, I mean mine. Now you take a poor guy's money, but sure God won't take mine. I said you take a poor girl's money, but sure God won't take mine. You know that the sun gon' shine in my back door someday. My back door sun, I need day long. Sun gon' shine in my back door someday. I said the wind gon' rise, gonna blow my arms away. Cindy, daddy like you do, daddy like you do, love. What makes you do me, Lord, daddy like you do. I said you made me think you're gonna do me like you done that last gal. I said that I ain't gone down no dark road by myself. Now don't you hear me talking to your daddy, sir. Ain't going down no big road by myself. I said if I don't get you, don't get somebody else. I said that ain't going down no big road by myself. Now don't you hear me talking to your daddy, sir. Ain't going down no dark road by myself. I said if I don't get you, Lord, got to get somebody else.
Rory Block, everybody.
We're out here having fun on the road, Sisters of Slide.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. We'd like to do a little one that was written by Mississippi John Hurt. Song is another one that's based on a true story, and it just so happens that there was a time well before mass media, or people didn't know what was going on, sometimes not that far away from them, but songwriters would bring the news. Songwriters would travel on freight trains, and they would show up all across certain regions, and the songs that they sang informed people that there was a bad man named Stagger Lee and what he did. I gotta tune it then. I don't think an actual tuner could help me now. want to switch to the other guitar and see if that'll help. Can I unplug this one? The good people in the back on the sound, can I unplug and switch? Okay. Yeah, this guitar is ready to have its strings changed. They've done good service for a couple of nights and met up with some weather changes.
Another dab.
Wouldn't it be a drag?
If it broke?
Yes.
Yes, it would.
And I went real easy on
Because
that.
it's aimed
last.
at my eyes, actually. Or the front people in the front row.
Yeah, these strings are definitely in a slightly better place. You can see that right away.
That's always my fear. String's gonna break and go flying. My slide bar has gone flying into the audience a few times. That's always scary for the people that are on the receiving end, and also because I'm losing the bar into the audience. So many occupational hazards I know of.
How we doing? Oh, yeah, it ain't too bad. Deputy Sheriff, Deputy Sheriff, how can it be you arrest everybody but Crew Stagger Lee said he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee, Lord, you know he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee, Stagger Lee, Stagger Lee, please don't take my life. Lord, I got 2 little children and darling loving wife. Lord, he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee, don't you know he was a bad man? Crew Stagger Lee, he said, what I care about your 2 little babe, your darling loving wife. Lord, now you don't stole my Stetson hat, about to take your life. Lord, he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee, don't you know he was a bad man? Crew Stagger Lee. Boom, 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 went to 44. Down to Stagger Lee, shot Billy to London, lying dead on the floor. Lord, he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee said he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee, standing on the gallows, head way up high. Lord, the last time they seen that boy, it's all glad to see him die. Lord, he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee said he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee. Deputy Sheriff, Deputy Sheriff, how can it be you would arrest everybody but Crew Stagger Lee? Lord, he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee, Lord, I said he was a bad man. Crew Stagger Lee. We thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Been a
Thank
wonderful
you.
audience.
All right, one more time, guys. Come on. Awesome. I tell you what, I walk around the room, there's about 10 or 15 musicians who've played here who are at this show. That's a draw. So remember, Bill Hurley, our own special Bill Hurley, designed our poster for tonight. Meet the girls back in the back, get it signed, get a hug. Great poster. As she said, she's got a bunch of CDs back there. There should be none left. They're on the road. Let's help them out. And last but not least, I guess we're selling hangers and T-shirts. So awesome T-shirts. Just got a whole bunch of new ones in. Women's, ladies, dogs, cats. Get them. We're going to do an interview, which is going to be fantastic. We got a bunch of questions coming into Bill about where they've been, where they're going, what they're doing. She's got a brand new album coming out, or just out, so she's going to talk about that. So in about 10 minutes, we're going to have an interview. So get a beer and grab a hug and come on back. Thanks.
Thank you so very much. home dead and gone. Let my free flag fly, let my hair grow long. And always said before too long, I've got to live and learn if I'm dead and gone. From time to time we try and try to steer ourselves straight. Time and time again I've tried to keep from my own eternal ways. Time to time we try and try, sometimes it's too late. Sometimes you just have to want to change. I've got to live and learn before I'm dead and gone. Let my free flag fly, let my hair grow long. Man always said before too long, I've got to live and learn before I'm dead and gone. Come on. From time to time we try and try to steer ourselves straight. Time and time again I'm trying to keep from my honky-tonk ways. Time to time we try and try, sometimes it's too late. Sometimes you just have to want to change. I've got to live and learn before I'm dead and gone. That's right. Let my free flags fly, let my hair grow long. And always said before too long, I've got to live and learn before I'm dead and gone. I've got to live and learn before I'm dead and gone. I've got to live and learn before I'm dead and gone. Got to live and learn. Got to live and learn. I've got to live and learn. Free, free, free again. Free, never failing free. Run on the run again. Run where no bloodhound has ever been.
Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. What? Check, check, check.
Check 1, 2, check 1, 2.
He never found a broken down engine that he couldn't fix.
Check, check.
Gas can in hand, cigarette hanging
Check,
from
check,
his
check.
lips.
Holding our instruments, or we just?
No, just mics. Check 1, 2. Check, check, check.
Testing, check.
Check 1, 2. There we go. That's
3,
good.
4, 3, 4.
All right. All right. So, my first thought. How did that go? If nothing good ever happens to me again, I'm okay.
I'm good with this one.
I'm good.
I'm good with this one. Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
The hair on my arms is still standing up from this. This was so great.
That is the best testimonial ever. Thank you.
First of all, I'm still kind of in disbelief that this even took place, but it was everything that I could possibly have imagined it was going to be.
That's very kind. I don't know how to
Thank
say
you.
thank you.
And
Thank
this is a fabulous place, and,
Yes.
and the barbecue is even amazing.
That's the best barbecue in Boston.
It's
Yeah.
great. I lived in Texas for 23 years and became the biggest barbecue snob
Oh,
in the
boy.
world.
Yeah.
But that is great barbecue.
Oh, well, good. They're going to love that on film.
And
from
what
the
is the name
Texas.
of the
That's Blue Ribbon Barbecue.
Blue Ribbon Barbecue? It certainly is. Thank you, Blue Ribbon.
I think this is probably more for you, Rory, than the mission of what we do here. And this is a nonprofit, and our corporate mission is to advocate and preserve and promote traditional American roots music, and that's what we do. And it's blues and it's jazz and it's soul and it's folk and it's different kinds of music, and so much of what you've dedicated your career to is just that. Am I?
That's exactly right. A lot of people ask me, well, what drew you towards this music? Why not, the Beatles, which, by the way, I also totally loved, and I loved the Rolling Stones. We're talking about when everybody was starting out, and I also loved rock music. But there was something about the grit and the soul and the just honest beauty of country blues that just rocked my world, and I didn't have any choice because I fell in love with the music. It was so raw and so beautiful.
How long did it take you to transcribe Hard Time Killin' Floor?
Well, not that long really, because it seemed like in the day and time that Stephen Grossman and John Hammond and just a handful of people were really listening, and Al Wilson, who founded Canned Heat, and we were sitting around transcribing these old songs. So it was already out there by the time I went to record it. So I kind of lost track on how long, but I would have to say that every time I do a tribute album, I re-immerse myself in that music that I listened to when I was much younger, and I get amazed by it all over again. In fact, I get even more amazed. I go, man, I cannot believe the level of genius.
Yeah.
In the original music.
Has that changed the way that you write? I mean, when you go back and you dig through these historic documents, whether I'm sure you've probably studied the Lomax field recordings and those things that were Does that change the way that you approach your own songwriting?
Probably does without my even being aware of it, because somebody said to me, well, everything you write is blues. It's blues inflected, it's blues influenced, and I almost can't do something without it having some influence of blues. So I'm sure that it does influence me across the board.
I heard a lot of influence tonight, though, from Joni Mitchell.
Yeah, people say that, like Silver Wings and stuff. I found a couple of interviews with her from recent years, and I was amazed. I always absolutely loved Joni Mitchell, but listening to her clarity of thought and her conviction, and what an amazing person, human being she is, and and a lot of what she said, I went, wow, I thought I might have been the only person who thought that about the music business, and all of her observations, I was just so deeply impressed. Did you see any of those interviews that she's done in recent years?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they're just very touching,
but she's
very
an
moving.
amazing artist. And I did recently see it was a film clip of her, I believe it was at the Isle of Wight Festival.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
Oh my gosh, so young and doing
Yeah,
it.
that was like
Such an
69 or 70.
What a brave thing, out
Yeah.
there by herself in front of thousands of people playing a dulcimer and a piano.
Well,
That was
for
pretty
the
great.
same question, for that, it's probably easier to name the people you haven't played with, than
only
the
one
ones
hand.
you have played with.
Only on one
And now
hand.
you're, embarking on this. Has that sort of changed the way that you structure your own music, taking influences from, Leon Redbone or Bob Dylan or Asleep at the Wheel, or we could go on for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
but you get the gist of the idea of that. Is that
I look at and I've always looked at every job, every opportunity I've had has been in education. I have always walked away having learned something, even if it was a job that maybe I didn't feel I was right for, or maybe I wasn't too crazy about the music, but you always learn something. And I think that's very important, because once you stop learning, what's the point with anything that you love? And but I'm very grateful for all the opportunities I've had, and I grew up in Woodstock, New York, so that was a great place to grow up, to be influenced by a lot of different musicians.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I found in my later years, I feel so blessed to be playing with a lot of people that I saw in Woodstock at a very, at an early age. And there's obviously not much age difference between Rory and I.
Helm, like Levon, who was in town when you were
Levon
growing,
Helm and Happy and Artie Trum and John Harold, Paul Butterfield, all these people, Van Morrison. That was kind of the soundtrack, I guess, of my youth. And so I think I picked up a lot of stuff at an early age, and then just kept learning, still learning.
What sparked this combo?
A bracelet.
Seriously.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we got paired in a workshop at a festival. Everybody who's out there touring knows that festivals have workshops, and you're oftentimes paired with people that you admire, people that you don't know, people that you know a little bit, people that are very famous, with people who are beginning. It's an interesting process. And but in this particular time, I met Cindy many years ago. I knew John Harold, and we knew the same people, and she was in his band, but we didn't didn't see each other for years. And then all of a sudden, there we were, just the two of us. I mean, usually it's 4 people, right, in a workshop.
They just kind of threw us together.
They threw it. We were pushed onto the stage, do a workshop, and we're like, "Hi, how are you?" We're like, "Oh, wow, what have you been doing all these years?" And then I said, well, she said, what about this one? Do you know this one? I said, well, no, I don't know that one. I said, how about this other one? Do you know that one? We did that for a few minutes. And I said, how about Big Road Blues? I think it might have been, or Statesboro.
Or Frankie now. It was something that we
one
latched onto anything that we knew.
And we
together.
just leaped in without knowing what we were doing. And it just so happened that we were both wearing the same bracelet. That's what really is very strange. And we just launched in, and there was this rhythmical lock, you know, and I felt like, oh yeah, I'm at home. She knows she's got the energy, and I know I have energy, and it's just locking, you know, and then someone came running up to us as we got off stage. We just played a lot of things that we didn't know, but it worked. And it's sort of like tonight.
Just like tonight.
Just like tonight, that's right. And yeah, and someone came running up and he said, if you two ladies go on tour together, he said, the blues world is going to be having heart attacks. You know, and so I said, Cindy, we do have to tour together. I said that to her for about a year. I said, Cindy, we have to tour. We were wearing the same bracelet. You know, and so
I mean, there you
that was
go.
kind of our little joke.
No, it really
Right there,
worked.
right there. There it is.
There it is. Here's the bracelet.
Tonight I didn't wear
yeah,
that.
see,
There you
But
go.
this is the one,
Not going
Steel
steady
by
anymore.
Design. Steel by Design. We both had one of those on.
Liquid metal
Yeah.
bracelets.
And
But,
who would think that years later, did you know, that I married her and her husband? That's a whole other
Rory
story.
officiated at
I officiated.
me and
I
my husband's
have.
wedding
Hey,
2
I've
years
got the
ago.
credentials. I've got credentials. Trust me.
Wow.
And I married them
Well, that's
officially,
pretty cool.
officially and legally. And I tried to talk them out of it because we were going to be some other place on the road. I said, "Well, what about Michael Gurian? What about, you know, Harvey's good friend? I forget." And
No,
Harvey
we
said,
wanted
"We
Rory."
want you to marry us." And I went, "Okay, I'll be there." And it was great.
You can
I
only
loved it.
imagine that Rory officiates beautifully.
Ah, thank you, thank you.
So that's
Yeah.
how we came to tour together, and you know, a lot of times, no matter what you do, oh, we have to get together and have dinner. Oh, we
Yeah.
have to get together and do this or that. But I think that we were both determined to do this, and I've been such a fan of Rory's and for a long time before that. So it was a very exciting opportunity when the festival put us together at the workshop. Because we had never really played together, I don't
No,
think. I had
no.
taken one guitar lesson from Rory years and years before that. But it was.
Tell
it was
the
Well,
story.
I think that you accomplished that. Set the give the blues world a
A jolt.
a jolt.
We say
a
I like to
big
say
time
I like to
jolt.
say we've teamed up to rock your world. I just came up with that. I like to say that. I tell them about how you went on tour with Leon Redbone. I think that's a really interesting story, like how he's boom
oh,
bang.
how
and-
I want any
yeah.
Leon Redbone fans? out
Everybody.
there?
Who's
Sadly, I
not
know
a
her-
Leon Redbone.
Sadly,
Yeah, yeah.
I miss Leon. I'm sure most of you know that he passed away
Yeah.
not too long ago. But yes, I toured with Leon Redbone for 5 years, and Rory wants me to tell this story. But
Yeah.
how I got the gig?
Yeah,
Is that-
how he said, you know, what are you doing tonight? He
All
says,
right.
"What are you doing tonight?" And she goes, you know, she walks in, she meets him, and you
Oh,
can
that.
correct my story. And she's in the room with him, and he says, "Well, what do you do?" He saw her play. He goes, "What are you doing tonight?" And she goes, "Well, I think I'm off tonight." He goes, "You want to come on tour?" I mean, it was like that fast, and that lasted for 5
Well, it
years.
wasn't actually that
Get you, he
fast,
goes, "Go pack, we're leaving." That's how that happened.
No, I had
Something like that.
I was living in Woodstock and heard that he might be looking for a dobro player. The person who heard this wasn't sure, and so I didn't know who to call. I called a booking agent in Woodstock that booked colleges. I figured he would know how to get a hold of Leon Redbone's manager, and sure enough, he did. And Leon happened to be playing about 90 minutes from where I live, so in a couple of days. So I bought every recording available that I could at the time and hightailed it down to this club and did sound check, and then he asked me to stay and do the show. And then after the show, he said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "I don't know." Why? He said, "Well, can you leave tomorrow? We're going on tour." And I said, "Well, no, but in a couple of days." So anyway, I left with
Nice.
him on
That
tour, and
lasted
turned
5
into 5
years,
years.
yeah.
It was great. He was a very brilliant man,
Yeah.
musically, and a wonderful cook. He was a Renaissance man. He really was.
Technically intense music too. I mean, really
Yes, very.
technically,
Yes.
really crazy intense music. Like tonight. I mean, there was some technical stuff going on tonight that was just kind of like wow, you know.
Cindy is, you can see by her equipment that she's deeply into the technical side as well as the, deeply into the artistic side. But I really admire that because my thing is bare bones. Rob knows what he's doing out there and makes the sound great. But I really admire someone who can handle all that and play all the instruments that she does play.
What'd you think of the sound on stage?
It's beautiful.
It was great.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great sounding room, really.
Thank
It,
you.
is, it really is.
It's a great
room.
room.
It is.
It's a
It's a
beautiful
beautiful
place.
room.
The whole
I
complex
wanted
is
to
beautiful.
say, if I may add, that Cindy brings so, like you said, you always want to learn something from whoever you play with, and you do. And that comes through all the time whenever we do a show or whenever we're rehearsing or hanging out and visiting. Cindy's knowledge of what all these different artists love is always at her fingertips, and she'll say something, just a sage remark about something, a little, well, that's what Amy loves, or that's what, or something like that. And you feel like you're connected to everybody. It's kind of like, I always say, the music business is ultimately a big family. You meet everybody sooner or later.
Yeah, that's very true. There's somebody that knows somebody that you know, but it's a very small world. I mean, I was flying home from a tour of Japan one time, and there was someone on the plane that I'd played with about 8 years prior to that flight. You just never know.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, there's a million stories like that. Check. I think my mic has gotten a little, there was some feedback. Is it off? Is it on?
No, they're on, but I'm
okay.
getting a little feedback too.
Yeah, a little rumble or something.
I think there's something chiming maybe through the monitors. You got it? Okay.
Okay.
You went into a little bit of a, and I loved the stories. I thought the stories were great. It was one of the highlights of the night. I thought
Thank
was.
you. I appreciate the
and
patience that people have, because I sort of can't help it. I just start telling the stories. I didn't tell you the one about Pete Seeger, but that's a good one. Come to another show that I do.
I did an interview with Pete Seeger, and he was just many years ago, and he said, if you're an artist, you are obligated to speak out against injustice. That was his thing. You were obligated. You don't really
you
have
platform.
a choice. You have to speak out against injustice. And there's a lot of people that avoid that. There's a lot of and for different reasons. Some people, well, who gives a shit what I think about politics? Kind of an attitude about it. There's people that I don't really know how to voice that. I don't know that I'm qualified to voice that. And then there's some people that just, I have fans on both sides of that street, and so
I can tell you what my mission is in terms of a message on stage that I feel like I'm empowered to speak. One, I think you guys know, one of my missions is to keep the old historic music alive and to give credit to the original artists, because you wouldn't believe how many of them were not being credited back in the day, because I could hear it when I heard other artists doing songs, and I thought, man, I know who wrote that one, but they're not talking about it. So there was that period of time where I think a lot of people thought no one would ever know. I think that, I'm not naming any names, not accusing anyone personally, but I think generally speaking, that was the thing, like, oh, well, that was then, but now we can sort of claim this. And I always knew who it was. So my mission on stage was, and I'm talking about 1970 something, that's how long I've been doing this, is to say, this one was written by, Matty Delaney. This one was written by Willie Brown. And I knew that it was like I was bumping up against a certain resistance when I did that. This is a Willie Brown song. This is a Bessie Smith song. But I always believe that, if you persist and you have a purpose and, you continue to make yourself heard, that it will make a difference. And I've seen some changes. No one knew who Robert Johnson was in 1964, but about 5 people. I'm serious. And I always told record companies who thought blues was a curiosity, but they would say, you'll never make it doing blues. I said, blues is experiencing a revival, and blues, my mission was blues is the next greatest big thing, and there was no evidence to back me up, but I believe in the power of ideas. So that's one of my missions, and I think people know that, That's what I do. The other one is to talk about the environment and what we need to be doing to save this precious, irreplaceable planet. There's nothing like it anywhere that we're ever going to be able to get to. This is it. Got to take care of it. And lastly, animals. My life is based on, I want to do good things for animals. I hate the way we degrade them and mistreat them and use up their habitat without putting it, every deer crossing sign, there needs to be either a tunnel for animals or a bridge. They make animal bridges. They're gorgeous and beautiful. I'll send out a blast. Go to my website, roryblock.com. Send an email saying you'd like to be on our mailing list. We send a blast months in between. They're never annoying, and we carefully design them. And we'll do one where we include the photograph of animal bridges.
Awesome.
So we don't own the planet. We share it with other species, and we've got to stop acting like it's ours. And they're equal. That's another thing. Animals are equal to us in value. We're not more important than them.
I heard.
So those are my political my political
And those
statements.
are, those are.
Yeah.
There's nothing more important than those things. I mean, I just heard that it's middle of this century, we'll have wiped out half the species.
More than half.
More than half the
Since
species
the
on the planet.
1950s, 60% of all wildlife has been destroyed by human encroachment.
Yeah, and when
That's
the bees,
pretty scary and
when
sad.
the bees go, we're
Yeah.
not soon after.
That's right.
We're really not
Yeah.
soon after that. So,
Yeah.
I think it's great that you have causes that you speak out about. I think. Does it enter into your music at all?
Oh, yes.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
lyrically.
Probably more than I realized. I
Yeah.
don't think I can, like I said, I don't think I can write anything that isn't really blues influenced, and probably can't write anything that isn't influenced. I mean, if you look at Silver Wings, if you look at Mama's Blues, and all those things are causes, if you know what I mean. They're all They all have like a cause that's behind them. Yeah.
Well, this was absolutely fabulous. I can't even tell you how great this was.
Thank you. What a great audience. Seriously, been a wonderful. It's been wonderful to play here.
This is a very it's a rather unique audience, and 40 years plus that I've been doing this.
Oh wow.
And I left a great 15-year career at Atlantic Records to embark on something that I thought was a little bit higher for me. I didn't like what the major labels were doing to artists.
The force feeding of the market.
Yeah, and what you were talking about earlier, where it was X and Y, and there.
Yeah.
Atlantic was a good label, and it was a great place to work, and they did branch into a lot of different music, and there was, the history of that label goes into a lot of different areas.
Oh, that was a great label.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A good run.
it was.
But we're glad you're here.
Yes, we are. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I want to say something about why I love playing with Cindy.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't really impress that easily. I mean, I like a lot of music, but I don't really deeply impress that easily. This woman is deeply impressive to me. Her talent level is just so deep. It's such a deep river of talent, and her skill level is so great that I'm really honored that she would even do a gig with me. So thank you. Thank you. It means a great deal to me. It's a real honor. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can't wait for album number 2. I really can't. I mean, it's beautiful stuff,
It's getting there.
And
Slow birth. See, I'm amazed at Rory, the output of recordings that this woman has boggles my mind. And they still come.
it's over 40 records, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't even know.
I think so.
I think it is.
I don't have the energy to count them all.
Mind-boggling.
I would say this, though. Rob used to work with the Rolling Stones, Paul Butterfield, Codron. The list is also unbelievable who Rob, my husband, I'm so lucky. That's a whole other story, how I got him to leave a good-paying job with a big audio company with health insurance and retirement plan, and I got him to leave that. It wasn't easy. I think I say it in my book. I think I broke down in tears and begged, or something like that. And he finally agreed. But I'm trying to think about where this was going. You maybe redirect me into where. Oh, yeah, he left Atlantic, yeah. So Rob and I shared this mission together, and it's a real blessing. Speaking of blessing, you mentioned that we are both get joy from doing the same thing, and it's so interconnected. I mean, people say, oh, man, you guys really have a good lock-in, and we do, because everything he does is what I need done, and everything I do is what he needs done. And it just, and we love making records. When we're not making a record, we might even feel out of sorts. The life force for me and for him is making records and doing shows. We really love it. You know, it's really, we
great.
just love it. Yeah. It's
go ahead.
life. It's a life force. It really is.
I would be remiss if I didn't say this as well. The importance of having you here, and I did this with Marcia Ball, and during the interview with her, I said, and we didn't even have an audience at that time. We were just filming in the.
Well, that's a crime, because I bet that was a real fun interview.
Oh my God, 2.5 hours I talked to her about soul music, and then I asked her, I said, why you really don't need to do this, you know, why did you? And she said, because by doing this, you'll be able to help a lot of people that are coming up behind me. And I would really be remiss if I didn't say that having people of this stature that don't need to do this really helps us in the mission to really level the playing field for independent musicians in this area, in this region, and around the country. And that's really, really important to me to say to you, thank you for doing that.
Well, thanks for the opportunity and the place to do it. We appreciate it.
But I don't know what you mean, don't need to do this, because I need to do this. I mean, it's like you got to do what you got to do, you know.
Well, I don't mean that you don't in that sense. I'm just you know, in the sense of, you know, you could be playing in a much bigger place and to a lot more people. And
no, you know, I think Cindy would agree that every gig is important. Every radio station, no matter how small, no matter how large, every single thing. The two people in the house. It's not personal. It's not the music. Every single thing is important. Every part of it is important. And there's nothing like, oh well, that's beneath my. You know, no, absolutely not. You know, I know you agree with me.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we do not only for a living, but it's our craft, you know.
That's
so whatever
yeah,
goes
and it was
along
great
with
to
that.
watch you actually do that craft tonight. That was another thing that resounded in my head all night between the five of us that are on the cameras and Connor back at the console was, you know, these are just masters of this craft, and just watch what they're, and we're back and forth talking to each other, and Connor's barking, and oh my God, it's a B7 major. It's like, oh my God, I can't even believe she did that. And it was, you know, it's just, and it's like everybody's barking.
Well, you have an educated crew too. You have
we do.
a great crew. I would like everybody here to give a hand to everyone that works here. Is amazing and educated.
And I hope that it was a really good, positive experience for you guys.
Oh yeah, you know, we've had like a lot of hours on the road and a lot of travel in this last week, and we're all sort of like seeing double, and so we dragged ourselves on in. But as soon as we started talking to you, and the other people in the crew were like, man, these people are nice. You know, we started feeling like, hey, this is going to be great. I mean, almost immediately, we were both. I know I was feeling like, I think I need to take a nap.
Oh, we
can't believe I have another.
dragged in here.
Yeah, we were dragging it. And you saw us like water rats. We were definitely, or like muskrats or whatever they are. But as soon as we saw what you had going on, I said to her, "This is going to be great. This is going to be great."
And you were right.
I was right.
As usual.
Ah, there you go.
All right, let's hear it for Cindy and Rory. And Cindy,
Thank you, Bill.
I'm going to give you the honor. You get to say, Connor, roll the credits.
Connor, roll the credits.